to my channel. So today I will be talking about some certain things some people really don't want to admit about marriage. There was a video I did in the past and I said something like that marriage is not a bed of roses. And every time I keep on hearing people say they thought it would be like this after getting married, or I hear people overestimating things after getting married. So the thing is this, and that's why I'm in this place doing this video now. I'm in a bedroom, and the thing is this: marriage is like a secret cult. You don't know what is in there until you get inside it. And what works for one cannot work for the other. That is one thing about marriage. So you don't assume before you get into marriage. But one thing you have to understand is this: you have to put all effort in order to make your marriage to work. If you really want that marriage to work, if you really want that marriage to be like what you dreamed of before you got married, then your two hands and your two legs has to be in your marriage. You have to work with it in order to make this marriage work. You cannot put one hand and the other outside, or you put one leg and the other outside. It doesn't work like that. And the bitter truth is this: there are so many things that we assume before we enter into this thing they call marriage. And those things that we assume and which we thought are correct is wrong. And that brings me to the bitter truth you have to know about marriage. The first thing is this: love. I hear people say that you have to marry who you love. You have to marry if you really, really, really love the person, and if your heart tells you to marry the person. But then the bitter truth is this, and I know you're not hearing it from me for the first time. I am not a marriage expert. I'm sorry, I'm not one. But I've been in marriage for more than 14 years, almost 15 years now. So I'm talking from experience. And also, my mom has been in marriage for more than 40 years, going towards 40 something or 50 years now. So I know that if I tell you anything right now, that I am talking from experience, my experience, the experience I gathered from the family I come from my aunts, from my uncles, from the people around me, from my loved ones, and from my friends. So it's either you take it or you leave it. So the first thing is this: love is not enough for you to jump into a marriage with a man or a woman. I'm sorry if you understand me wrong, I'm sorry if you get me wrong, but the thing is this: love is not enough for you to jump into a marriage with anybody. The thing is this: before you marry anybody, especially somebody you love with all your heart, there are so many things you have to take into consideration. Things like his or her weaknesses, his or her abilities, and all these things you have to weigh them on a scale and then know if actually the love that you have for this person can conquer his or her weaknesses. And when you find it difficult coping with the weaknesses, my dear, love is not enough for you to marry this person. Because if you believe that, I have heard it so many times that they say that love conquers all. but I think sometimes it doesn't work the way we think it should work. You know, it's more to say words, it's more to, say something, but putting it in practice is where we always lack as human beings. It's not enough to say that you love a man or that you love a woman. That's why you enter into a marriage with him. And when you enter into that marriage and you start saying his weaknesses, you start saying his disabilities, and then you'll be you'll be crying over it. You'll be blaming yourself. Why didn't your eyes open? Why didn't you see this at the first time? You now see where I'm heading to. And that's why I say that love is not enough. So when you love, it's good to love. It's good to love somebody who you want to get married to. But first of all, you please weigh all the pros and the cons. Remember, my Bible made me to believe that love is forever. The only thing that can separate you is death. And once you enter into this union, and once you enter into this marriage, this institution of matrimonial institution, once you enter into it, it binds you forever with this person. That is why you have to really open your eyes very well. That's why you have to look before you leap. So that is one of the bitter truths you have to know about marriage, that love is not enough for you to marry somebody. You have to look at the person well. You have to check his abilities and his disabilities, and have to know if you are able, if you can condole with all those things, if you can live with all those things. Then if you can't, then you have to back out immediately. So another here, okay, sex. Let's talk about sex. I know some people will say, okay, before I marry this girl or marry this man, I have to check him. And sometimes you'll be listening to them, you'll be wondering what kind of check are they talking about. Is this lady a doctor, or is this man a medical doctor? They are not. What I meant by they want to check him is this: they want to see how the performance of the person on bed. If you marry a girl or if you marry a man because he's good in bed, then I think you have a problem. Being good in bed, knowing how to demonstrate all the different positions during sex is not so much important when it comes to marriage. If sex is all you can offer in a marriage, I think it is a problem. It is not all about sex when you talk about getting married. No. When you get married to someone, I know some people will say, if he does, a woman will say, if that man cannot last more than 5 rounds, I will not marry him. Some men will say, if that woman cannot satisfy me on bed, I'm not going to marry her. But then, marriage is not all about sex. Marriage is not all about who can satisfy me or who cannot satisfy me. Marriage is not all about sex. When all what you have to offer in a marriage is sex, then you have a problem. If you don't have ideas, if you're not intelligent, if you cannot offer anything financially, then you have a problem. Then you have to think and check yourself. So, sex, at a time, the sex that you know how to offer will start getting boring. And when it starts getting boring, you don't have anything to substitute to it, then that is when your problem will start. That is when you start having your problem. So do you see what I mean? Sex, if sex is all what you have to offer in a marriage, then you have a problem. When you are a woman and you get married to a man that you love, your dream man, as some will call it, please remember that He saw so many people out there before he came to you to marry you. You're not the only beautiful girl around. If you think you're beautiful, go take a walk outside. You see somebody who is more beautiful than you are. Then getting married to him, having a ring on your finger doesn't mean that it will hold him there forever. It doesn't mean that you will prevent him from making use of his eyes. His eyes, they are still working. He's not blind. So because your man is not blind, because your husband is not blind, please, ladies, you have to take care of yourselves. You exercise your body after giving birth to a child. Please exercise your body to burn all those extra calories that you have acquired during this 9 months. When you are pregnant, you tend to eat. For some, they normally eat so much. For some, they don't. It depends. Pregnancy is just like the way your body accepts it. Some will get slim, some will grow fat. So it's just like that. And when a woman is pregnant, our hormone plays with us. Sometimes it destroys a lot of things in us. And some women, they look so ugly, and some they look so beautiful. So it depends on your type. So after giving birth to a child, and after breastfeeding your child, when you stop breastfeeding, please take care of yourself. Try as much as possible to come back to your form. And don't tell me that you've given birth to so many children and can't make it again. No, don't give up on you. You're not the only person who has given birth to children, and you are not the only woman who is married and have children and who breastfeeded children. No, you are not alone. There are so many women out there. You hardly even know unless if they open their mouth and tell you that they have children or they are married with children. It's just like that. So you take care of yourself. You don't be careless with your looks, because if you're careless, yes, I know that your husband has put in a ring on your finger, but he has his eyes. It doesn't prevent him from looking at other women. And when he keep on seeing all those fine girls out there, when he keep on seeing all those beautiful women out there, and he comes back at home, you're there tying a headscarf on your hair and with a wrapper on your breast, it doesn't take good at you, He has a secretary, he has female colleagues, you have to be up to standard. You really have to maintain your look. And to men also, you remember before your wedding day, you didn't have a pot belly, but now you now have it. You've now added extra. It's as if your wife should give you one of her bra for you to hold your own breast. Please, you should also take care of your body. You should also try and build up your muscles. All this is pants. That your wife will be watching the television. Sometimes I'll be saying one remark or the other. Oh, look at his 6 packs, and you look at it and her like this, and you will not be happy. Please, you can also acquire that 6 packs. It's not a must that you must acquire the 6 pack, but it is good if you can take good care of yourself. You don't just indulge in too much eating and you grow fat. While you're growing fat, your wife is the other side, at the other end is also growing fat. So it's good that you take care of yourselves. It's good that you take care of your body after giving birth to children or after getting married to anybody of your choice. So another thing is this. Some people say that they thought that marriage will bring us so many interesting parts of their life, so many things, so many interesting package. It's true. Marriage normally comes with an interesting package. But then, these interesting packages are not just made. It's you that will produce them. It's you that will bring it out and deposit it into your marriage. So how do you avoid boredom in your marriage? You avoid burden in your marriage when you try to make things go well, activities. You make good use of your free time. Think of anything that you can do to bring fun into your marriage. You can visit places together. You can play things together. You can, take part in sports activities together. Play lawn tennis, play table tennis, play cars, visit places of interest with your children. And you don't tell me that because you have children, you hardly have time to spend with you or with a family, and that you hardly have time to think of an activities that will involve all the members of the family. Because here, in order to avoid burden in a family or in your marriage, you now have to include a fun activity that will involve every member of the family. And when this involves every member of the family, you believe me, everybody will be happy to take part in this activity. And whenever you set a timetable, they will be happy to come back from wherever they are to come and take part in these activities. In that way, you are spicing your relationship. In that way, you are spicing your marriage. In that way, you are laying You're laying down good examples for your children and for the people around you. Another thing you have to know is this. Some people say that they are busy, too busy for intimacy in marriage. I know it's good for someone to work, but then we should be able to know when to separate work from our private lives, work from our marriage, work from our family. And when you try to make the two to be at equilibrium with each other, then I think it is good. It is also healthy. But then when you try to bring your work hours up, and then the hours that you spent with your family or with your spouse or with your children will be down, then that is when it is imbalanced, and that is when the relationship in that family is sort of going to the wrong direction, and that is not good. As I will say, I'm not a marriage expert, but I'm talking from experience. You should find out time to set a balance between your work and your private life, especially if you're married and have children. Your family should always be first. You should always put your family first. And remember, overworking in order to avoid spending time with your family is not good. Some people say, I overwork because I want to provide more money for my family. But then think about it in this way. That more money you're providing for your family is not really helping you at this time, because it is pushing you more further away from your family. Look at it this way. The more hours you spend away from your family, the more your family is drifting backwards from you. And that is not good. And for some people, it goes too far. Sometimes they will drift apart physically and emotionally, and that is not good. Please try and make out time for your family. Try and make out time for your spouse. Try and make out time for your children. Working is good. Trying to earn a living in order to take care of the children that God gave to us is good. Trying to earn a living in order to take care of the wife that God blessed you with is good. But the bitter truth is this: that extra hour you put in your job would have been better if you put that extra hour at home trying to take care of your family, trying to look into the psychological and emotional needs of your family. Money is good, but remember, money is not the solution of all problems. And if you will agree with me, you will know that it is not always good to give excuses. To give excuses, especially when it involves children. Your child had a presentation in this. Your children have presentation in the school, or your children are involved in one or two activities in the school, and you promise them that you'll be there, and they came back home with hearts full of sadness, and you came back with excuses, and you thought that dropping by at a shop to buy a gift for them in order to bribe them into accepting your habitual excuse giving is better than coming by to support your children. Did you see what I mean? We should try and create an equilibrium between our private life and our work. So, no matter what you do, you should avoid giving this excuse to "I am too busy" for intimacy. You are too busy to get yourself emotionally and physically attached or involved with your wife or your children. It is not an excuse. And if you find yourself giving this kind of excuse all the time, then you have a problem. If you're a woman, one can easily say that you are a baby machine. You just give birth to children and you're not taking care of them because you feel that you're too busy with your career, and that is not good. Then if you're a man, it's like as if you're a sperm donor. No, those children, they are your flesh and blood. Those children need your attention, not just your money. Those children need someone to encourage them. Those children need someone to tell them how much they love them. Those children need somebody to catch their, to be there, to clap, to sit at the audience and watch them perform and clap for them and cheer them up. Those children need you as their cheerleader whenever they are performing or presenting anything in their schools. That's why you are a father. That's why you're a mother. So don't tell me you're too busy for intimacy with your children or with your wife. Another thing is this, you should try and put flame into your marriage. You should try and put fire into your marriage. How do you put this flame? How do you put this burning fire in your marriage? You do it by what? As I said before, by involving your family or your spouse or your children, whoever that made up your family. You involve them in interesting activities. You involve them in fun-ful activities. You don't just sit at home. You go out. You have fun. You visit places of interest. Then if you're a woman, you should try and learn how to cook. Not just learning how to cook, but learning how to cook very well. Try and learn from other cultures, from other tribes. Try and play with colors in your kitchen, so that when you present your food on the dining, it will look so appetizing that everybody will be forced to come to the dine. Try and learn how to cook very well. Try and learn how to change your food. Try and learn how to, adapt to the taste of the family when it comes to food. Because the dining is where the family always meets every day. If your family is not the type that normally eat together in the morning, for breakfast, you eat together in the afternoon, and you eat together at night, then try and utilize this period and do what? Present something to the table, something that will attract them, that wherever they are, once it is time for lunch or dinner, they will start running home, because they know that something interesting, something palatable will be placed on the dining table. So what am I trying to say? Those are the bitter truths you have to know about marriage. Marriage is just like somebody who is cooking. If you don't put the right ingredients, the food will not taste good. Have you ever wondered why so many people cook the same food, and when they present the same food that you cook, but with the same ingredients, their food will taste better than yours? That is how marriage is. It depends on how you learn how to manage what you get in your marriage. I believe that all those people who worked in their marriage, all those people who are happy in their marriage, they didn't just do any magic. No, they try to learn to make use of what they have in order to what? To make themselves happy. And how do they learn to make use of what they have? Your sense. You have to make use of your senses. Make use of your brain. Think of what you can do in order to make your children to sit tight on the dining table anytime that is time for them to eat. Think about what will make your husband come rushing home to take his lunch or dinner. Think about what will make your husband come rushing back home because he has a wife at home. Don't make your home a battlefront. Don't make your marriage a painful one or a bitter one. Don't make your marriage to be, I wish I was single. Don't make yourself to be married but still single. So, if you will confront yourself with this bitter truth about marriage, you will understand that some people over-assume before they get into marriage. Some people don't prepare themselves very well before they get into marriage. Remember, my brothers and sisters out there, before you get into marriage, you have to prepare yourself psychologically, physically, emotionally. You don't just rush into marriage because you think you're old enough. You don't just rush into marriage because you think that you're getting old. You don't just rush into marriage because you think that you have the money. You don't just rush into marriage because you think that your parents or your mom or your father or your brothers and sisters are mocking you, or that because people are mocking you, or that's because people really wanted you to get married. No. Those people who wanted you to get married will not be there to marry the wife or to marry your husband for you. Once you get married, and after the celebration and after the wedding, once the door is closed, you are there alone with that man or with that woman. So make sure you prepare yourself psychologically, physically, emotionally before you embark on this journey. I call it a journey. Marriage is not a bed of roses. Yeah, you can make it a bed of roses if you put the right ingredient into it. So those are the bitter truths you have to know about marriage. If you agree with me, no problem, share my video. If you don't, that is also no problem. I welcome every critic. Leave your comments, and if you like it, please don't forget to give it a like and leave your comment. Let us learn from each other. Let me hear your own opinion. Thank you for watching, and till next time.